Hey, welcome back to another episode of Cooking Under Quarantine with me, Deric Lipski, your host, as usual. Today we're making a meal where we're going to use the Instant Pot again. We're going to make teriyaki chicken. We're going to show you how to use this Instant Pot, which is a pressure cooker. We're going to have some white rice with it and some snow peas. So it'll be sort of an Asian kind of meal, and it's cooked pretty fast because we're using the pressure cooker. So it takes about 2/4 of the time off. 2/3 of the time off, I should say. Anyways. So here's some of the ingredients that we're going to need to make this today. And this is a super cheap meal, and it's easy to make, and it tastes good. It's easy to make if you have the pressure cooker. If you don't have the pressure cooker, it might get a little difficult. But so either way, so what you're going to want is a couple pounds of thighs. So we use dark meat. A lot of people don't know that. The dark meat is, if you're going to make chicken teriyaki, whether you're making the ones at the restaurant or anything chicken teriyaki, it is better to use dark meat than breast meat. A lot of people think you just use breast meat. You can use either one. But the dark meat is just a better, it holds the flavor better, it's sweeter, it goes along with it a bit more. So you want to use thighs. So we got a pack of 4 pounds of thighs. That'll go right into the Instant Pot. And so typically, if I were to cook this, I would have to marinate this overnight and then maybe throw it on the grill. But because I'm going to use the pressure cooker, I'm going to put the ingredients in with it and infuse the flavor into the chicken in about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Some of the ingredients we're going to need to make this is the marinade. The marinade is going to be Kikkoman teriyaki sauce, Kikkoman soy sauce, a little bit of wine. You guys watch the show, you know I use a little wine. Ginger, garlic. This is both crushed, not fresh. Obviously you need a measuring cup, some brown sugar, some white rice, some snow peas. This here was $7. So $7 for that chicken. The rice is probably $2-3. Snow peas were $2-3, and then, I mean, you use it all the time. I don't know how you can make it a list of ingredients, but let's just say this whole meal is going to serve 6 or 7 people, and it'll be under $20. So it's perfect if you're quarantined and get that little Chinese flavor you get, but you do it at home. So I'll see you at step 1. Let me see if I can see through my bamboo garden. Oh. Little Asian persuasion. All right, so here's the Instant Pot. We got it set up. So this is going to be pretty easy. What we're going to do is just pretty much dump stuff in, and it's going to be pretty easy. So it's going to open the pack of chicken, and there's no really crazy method to this. We're just going to get it all in there. If you can have them all standing up so they all fit in versus laying on top of each other, it's obviously better. Everything cooks a little bit more even that way. That's all in there. That's all standing up. Let me just get this out of here. I'll put that there. I won't touch the camera with chicken hands. Rinse them off. And I'll bring the camera over quickly so you guys can see what I'm talking about with this. Actually, I can probably just pick this up. But you see how it's all like standing up there? It's not laying on top of each other. So now, what we're going to do is put our ingredients down, right? So the first one to go is teriyaki sauce. And that's not nearly enough. Lucky for me, I came prepared. I stocked up on this stuff. Now I get these 3 for $5 at Market Basket. So because this is the main ingredient, we go 3/4 cup of teriyaki. That's good. Next ingredient is going to be soy sauce. We're going to go 1/4 cup of that. So you don't need a ton. That's kind of salty, but it does have a certain flavor that we want in there. For wine, we will do 1/2 cup of that. Brings up to 1.5 cups. Again, ginger adds more flavor than garlic does, so you want to put in a nice, heaping teaspoon, if not 2, on this one. We'll do 2, just because I like it. Garlic, this isn't a paste. I'll show you to rinse it off and use that again. Across the contaminate. So just a good spoonful. But that will add flavor for sure. And the last part is going to be the brown sugar. I'm not going to measure this, but if I were to guess, I would say it's either in between a half cup and a quarter cup of brown sugar. Just enough to give it some sweetness. And that's it. The whole thing comes to 2 cups all together. Actually, right on line. I'm just stirring this up a little bit. I'm going to pour this in there. And believe it or not, this Instant Pot is pretty cool. It's going to pressure cook this. And it's super easy. But not only is it going to pressure cook it, after we take the chicken out, we're going to finish. Now, typically I buy skin on thighs. Today I didn't because I just was going to make something different and I totally changed the script on myself. So normally this works a little bit better with skin on, because what we do with these is after we take them out of here in about 25 minutes, pressure cooker them, we will transfer them to a pan. And you could go outside with this on the grill, or you can just do it in the house on the broiler. So I'm doing it in the house on the broiler because it's kind of cold and rainy out today, a couple days before Easter. And what I'm going to do is turn this, now I'll turn the pressure cooker off, believe it or not. The juices will stay in here, and then I'm going to put this on saute. And that's going to start boiling the sauces with the lid off, and it's going to start making the sauce condense. And then we'll take that same sauce that we use to cook this chicken as a glaze in the oven, so we don't waste anything. It's actually really cool. It has a good flavor. So if you don't have an Instant Pot, you should definitely go out and get one. This is what mine looks like. I don't know what model this is. I don't know what they call it. They didn't put the model on it. Oh, Instant Pot Duo. And it's pretty easy. It has pretty preset stuff on the back. It's up a little, as you can see. It has preset modes, but on this one I'm going to do 25 minutes. So I'm just going to go to pressure cook. It's set on 30. I'm going to drop it down to 25, and that's it. I'm going to let this thing go and make sure that's set on seal. There's 2 things, venting and seal, and as you know, the old pressure cooker, they just go. That's what will happen once it turns off. So that just turned itself on. What it's going to do is it's going to heat up. Once it gets to a point where it's hot enough for pressure cooking, the timer will start. So we're going to let that happen, and then afterwards, we can either A, let them cool down inside the pressure cooker as the steam releases slowly, or we can just hit the steam off and take them out, which is probably what we're going to do to make this fast. So this meal can be cooked in under an hour. And so right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my rice pot on, my white rice in there. I put 3 cups of white rice in there, and I have a rice cooker. I'll put that in there. It's super easy, white rice. You just got to rinse it off, get the starch off, stick it in the rice cooker with 4 cups of water, 3 cups of rice, turn it on for 20 minutes. It's the white sticky rice. And then only thing else we're going to do is make the pea pods. And all we're going to do with those is fry them up as a little side garnish so people kind of get that Asian feel to it. I don't know. So anyways, I'll check back in with you guys when this is done in about 25 minutes. Hey, we're back. Step 2. So the chicken just got done. And as I told you guys before, this is going to start, as it counted down from 25, it stopped, it beeped. Now it's going back up. And what it's doing is it's doing a slow release. It's nice to do that if you have the time. You don't have to do that. We're not going to do that today. So we're going to do it the old-fashioned way, which is going to be let the steam go. It takes a few minutes. So what I have going on now is in the on the double ovens, I turn on the oven on broil. And I have a setting with high, low, and crisp. So I put it on crisp. That's the lowest of all 3 settings. I believe it's the lowest of all 3 settings. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this out once it's done. And then we're going to put this back on saute, reduce the sauce, use it as a glaze. We will then glaze the chicken and stick it back in. I got a pan here. This is the chicken's going to go on. You don't need this little cookie dryer sheet thing. There's the rack. I do it because I like to get crispness all around. It's not required. You can certainly put it onto the under the tinfoil itself to help try to clean the mess, but I like to put it on here. I feel like I get a little bit more crispiness. But again, I didn't put skin on it this time. I did skinless, so we'll see how that comes out. As you can hear, this thing is getting lower and lower. And what will happen eventually is there's a little button there too that once you start putting steam, it'll drop down, and that means the pressure is released. Even if I wanted to, I couldn't take this off. It's like sealed hard. But as you hear the pressure for the steam, being released from this. We can now. And I could have simply just taken this thing and released the steam, waited for it to be done, and then started filming, but I wanted you to see how this thing works. So in case you decide to go grab one, you do. But this bad boy does a lot of stuff. So far I've done the ribs, which you guys have saw that episode. I did do a meatball on here one time, like a Swedish meatball with, it was like, I think it was Heinz chili sauce in a jar of jelly, and it was 30 minutes, and it started to go over white rice, and that was it, and the kids loved it. I bought those frozen meatballs and stuck them in there with a jar of jelly, Heinz chili sauce, and it was like Swedish meatballs on white rice, and believe it or not, they liked it. It was surprising. Little spicy, a little sweet. Boom! And you can just see this. Oh, let me get this in here. Look at this. Hold on, bring you guys over here. Look at that. It's just bubbling in its juices. So this is off. I'm gonna hit cancel, and I'm gonna go to saute. Right? Yeah. And that's gonna start cooking the sauce. And all I'm gonna do with this chicken is that one at a time. Just gonna take it off. This one broke apart a little bit. And I'm just gonna put it on the rack to dry. These look like little, they actually look like little donuts, chicken donuts. It doesn't sound too appetizing. One of them want a chicken donut. I mean, look at these things. They're like, they get like shriveled up. But it's dark meat and it is good with this sauce. And this sauce has been sort of infused in this now, which is gonna make it only taste that much more sweeter. Oh. And it just falls off the bone. You heard that just boop. It just falls right off. The nice thing about this is because you're going to do a glaze, you can get all those little pieces that fell off and cook them individually. Just nothing else in there. And now what I do is reduce the sauce. This is going to, as you can see, and I'll put it back over again so you can see, it's bubbling up inside. So I'm going to let that reduce while this thing is oven's heating up, and we'll bring that down till it gets almost a consistency of, I don't want to say, you know, barbecue sauce. It's not gonna be that thick, but it'll definitely be sort of a glaze thickness. So we're just gonna let it cook down for about 15 minutes. So we're at a critical step that I forgot to tell you guys about when we talked about the original ingredients that we needed for this thing, and we're reducing the sauce down. I forgot to tell you guys we need to do one thing, and that is we got to add a little bit of cornstarch. So we're going to use a teaspoon and do 2 teaspoons of cornstarch. And then you make sure you use cold water. In fact, I'll use a fork. And we're just going to put maybe a tablespoon in there. I'm going to do it by eye. I'm just going to whisk this. And it's going to kind of look like Play-Doh for a minute. It'll get looser in a minute. It's going to get stirred up, moving around. It is getting clumpy. I don't remember it being this hard last time. There we go. That moves up a little bit here. I'm gonna add just a little bit more water because I don't have a full tablespoon. Now it's a tablespoon for sure. There we go. That noise is not good. This is going to help thicken it up, in fact. I was watching this, I was like, why isn't it thickening up? It's definitely going down, but why isn't it thickening up? Polish. Take, you know, I had a couple margaritas. You guys don't see me in the background having a couple margaritas, but I'm making and stuff. Yeah. So now we're gonna get some thickness going on. And, I mean, almost immediately you can see this thing getting thicker. Like it's that fast. Little trick of the pros. I'm about ready to pull this stuff off. I'm going to show you guys what it looks like inside. You can totally see the difference of how the consistency of this looks as opposed to what it was. And look how thick this is. I mean, it's almost like forming skin on the top of it, for crying out loud. So that's exactly what the cornstarch does. Like within minutes, I forgot that one thing and bam. So I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to put it into a measuring cup. Get the old cornstarch out of there, and then we're going to start glazing the chicken. Put it right in. Bada bing, bada boom. 5 minutes, we'll be done. So here we're already glazed. So this is the sauce that condensed down, and basically we're just gonna get it all over the chicken. In fact, one of the easier ways to do this is more when I get it in out the oven. Because it's like this, I can just go and dunk it. It's gonna be full coverage on all sides for the first coat. If you can't have that in the background, that's Goodwill Hunting. Love that movie. Not just because I'm from Boston and this is a Boston movie, but I like it. Alright. And I'm really being generous with this. I mean, you see me dunking this stuff. I am dunking it. I'm gonna even use this in the, I'm gonna put this away. I think when I do this, I'm just gonna take them out and keep dunking them. So now I'm just gonna put this in the oven. The next step is gonna be take these pea pods, which takes literally 3 minutes. Put them in the pan, fry them up. The rice is already done. Glaze this 2 or 3 times, get a nice sticky coat on it. We're ready to be plated and eat it. Okay, we're at the final glaze here. And it's only been a few minutes since I last recorded. Believe it or not, there's not much time that's passed. And it's just cooking so fast. And that crisper. Really just trying to, oh, look at this. It is just falling off the bone. It's even hard to grab it, but this thing is falling apart in pieces. And you can see the ginger and the garlic on this meat. Man, I'm telling you right now, this is going to be good. I might prefer to do it without skin next time. Just, because I mean, this is almost going to get its own kind of. It'd probably be healthier. I don't know if it's healthy as soy sauce is, but it's teriyaki sugar. But whoa, man, it looks good. Don't do it to me. Don't do it to me. Not when we're so close. Okay. And a funny side note, I was getting the pan prep for the pea pods, so I went to grab some oil, and I'm grabbing this because, well, I mean, they kind of look alike. Pickle juice. So I almost ruined that by putting that in the pan. Luckily, I caught that. Anyways, these are going to go into the final glaze, and what I'll do next is I'll do the pea pods. I'll take these out, and then we'll plate it, and we should be good. So we get the snow peas on. Basically, what we're going to do is get it on hot at first, get the pan warm, then you put it back down low, and you got to be careful. You got to constantly be stirring this up, because if you don't, you'll see a couple of them. When I turn around for 2 seconds, you grab the camera, already started getting brown. So this is something you got to constantly be moving around. And the chicken is coming out. Oh, look at that. Huh? See that? Look how brown these got. I went to the oven for 2 seconds. And even if it's on low, these things will burn up really quick. You got to constantly moving them. I don't know if that was even 20 seconds or 30 seconds, whatever it was. Those game oven mitts, those things are not made for a man hand. Like this thing is, we had playing basketball with this thing, but trying to jam it into an oven glove, it is difficult. See that one right there? Yeah. See? 2 seconds, you turn around and that's what will happen. So all we're trying to do is get these things nice and cooked. We don't want them fried. Whoop. Whoop. We'll turn it off. Because believe it or not, how long is it clocking on for? 1 minute and 49 seconds, unless I had to go on 30 seconds before I put this film on. 2.5 minutes is these things are cooked. So, now that these are cooked, the next step is to get them over to the plating, put everything together. When are we ready? Hallelujah, we made it. This is the final step. We are plating this bad boy up. And overall, it was an hour and 8 minutes total. And I did a couple things that you don't have to do, but I did. So we have the white rice here. I use sticky white rice, which is short grain. And it's basically pretty easy to do with a rice cooker. I may make a video down the road about how to make sticky rice, if you guys want that. Okay, so we're going to do this. We're going to plate the chicken on top of the rice, like this. We're going to add a few green beans or pea pods on the side, as a side. And I bought a frozen egg roll that I heated up in the New Wave. So that's it right there. Look at that. The kids may want a little teriyaki. So my kids like soy sauce or teriyaki sauce on the rice itself after this chicken, because this is boneless. It'll just cut up and just fall apart. And there's a lot of sauce on chicken, but they like extra sauce. So, but that's it. Look at that. That looks like it belongs on like an Asian menu. Like, I'll take the number 4 right there. So this is pretty easy to make. It's under 20 bucks. It'll feed 7 people, and it's for my family, yours. I hope you guys enjoy this. My kids love it. Yours are going to too. Stay tuned. We have some new stuff coming up. I think I'm going to do an Easter ham, although it won't be posted till after Easter. But you guys see Easter ham, and then we'll do some Easter leftover ham. We'll make some ham salad and also some pea soup. So that's coming soon. And I should be doing some drink stuff too. A couple of special weekend drink menus like a Mai Tai and maybe a margarita for my bartender days. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this. Leave any comments below. I always respond. Talk to you later.